Okay, hit it.
Don't lose inspiration. Don't be hard on yourself.
Yes, my friends, don't lose inspiration and don't be hard on yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That simply means may peace and blessings be upon you. Yes, you, my friend. I wish you nothing but peace. Welcome to Abdimalik Reacts. Today, we're checking out a video titled How Saudi's Prince Salman spends his 2 trillion fortune. Anyways, let's check it out. I'm actually curious of how he actually spends that much money. By the thumbnail of the video, it looks like they make it seem like he's spending all of his fortune on cars and stuff like that. But let's check it out, okay? All right. By the way, please consider subscribing to the video. Hit reset. Okay, I need to calm down. Okay. Anyways, if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Okay, that's what I meant to say instead of whatever I just said. Okay, let's get into the video. Bismillah.
I'll be the first to admit that I don't watch the news regularly, but I could have sworn
Same here. Well, I used to, but not anymore.
that Elon Musk was the richest man in the world. In fact, at the time of making this video, Bloomberg puts his net worth at $272 billion. And everyone is still waiting for him to become the first trillionaire in history. So, how is it then that you've just clicked on a video that's about to show you how the Prince of Saudi Arabia spends his magnificent $2 trillion fortune? A fortune that obliterates the combined wealth of the top 17 richest people on any list today.
That's ridiculous. Like, that is insane.
Well, I'm glad you asked. And I'll keep the answer short, sweet, and crude. Oil. You see,
I like that. That's sneaky. I like it. I like the transition he made. That's crude oil.
I'll keep the answer short, sweet,
And crude oil. I like that.
As the anointed de facto ruler of a country that bears his last name as its first name, Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, or MBS, sits at the top of Aramco, the biggest oil and gas company ever. It's the third most valuable company, behind only Apple and Microsoft, and ahead of Alphabet, Meta, Berkshire Hathaway, Amazon, and of course, Tesla.
That's crazy because these companies that he mentioned later, they're huge, but compared to that oil company, they're like nothing. That's insane. That is insane.
These matters way less on Mars, but the truth is, MBS does have control over what he can splurge millions on from his own wealth and from the wealth of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And on top of Aramco, MBS also controls the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia, called the Private Investment Fund, and with assets of $500 billion. You begin to wonder, what can you possibly buy as a gift for someone who is obviously filthy rich? And boy, are some of the ridiculous items on this list gonna color you jealous, especially since the first
Jealous? It's kind of pointless being jealous of someone that's like that, has like that much money, because it's ridiculous. And yeah, you can be maybe jealous of someone that has something that you could like possibly afford or do, but
First on our list is the painting called Salvator Mundi, the most expensive painting in our history.
Okay, no comment. Let's just
This
go on.
magnificent piece was done in the 15th to 16th century by none other than Italian Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci, who, just like MBS, didn't know where to draw the line with the gifts he was born with. The Salvator Mundi did a tour in 2017, where it was displayed at exhibitions in Hong Kong, San Francisco, and New York.
Who is in the drawing? Is that supposed to be Jesus? I don't know. Who's that supposed to be? I understand how Okay.
During its exhibition in New York by the auction house called Christie's, it was purchased by the Saudi Arabian Minister for Culture, Prince Badr bin Abdullah, for $450,300,000, about $500 million. The claim was that it was for display at the Louvre, Abu Dhabi, but reports
that
have
is
it that
crazy. For an art, almost. Wow. Okay. Okay. I guess if you have the money. Okay.
Was actually standing in for MBS, who is currently in possession of the masterpiece. Salvator Mundi, meaning Savior of the World, is a beautiful painting by Da Vinci that features a portrait of Jesus Christ holding a...
Okay, that's what I thought. Oh. Okay.
a non-refracting crystal orb in his left hand. This painting of Jesus is on Mohammed bin Salman's mega yacht, where he's hung it on the wall with one nail instead of 3. You can say him...
Are you serious? You spend that much money on a painting and you have one nail holding all that up. Yet again, he has $2 trillion. 2 trillion. But that's crazy though, to spend that much money on a painting and then not to hang it up like, wow, okay.
BS does like putting an extra layer of that pizzazz on all his things. It may be a $500 million painting of one of history's most influential people on his wall, or just extra gold coating on his already expensive fleet of...
You know what though? I like how this guy like transitions between the two. Like, I like it. It's very creative. It's really creative.
Cars, like his gold-plated Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport. This car costs a whopping $12.5 million, and the Grand Sport...
Bismillah. Did he say what I think he just said?
Fleet of cars, like his gold-plated Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport. This car costs a whopping $12.5 million.
Ridiculous. That is
Dollars, and the Grand Sport has been recognized as one of the fastest street-legal vehicles in the world, with a speed of 431 kilometers per hour and a 0 to 1.
What? How often are you actually gonna go that fast on the streets? Almost never, unless you're like somewhere in Saudi Arabia in a desert and there's no traffic around you. But that's insane.
100 kilometers per hour acceleration in 2.5 seconds. That acceleration just about edges that of the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, which goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.8 seconds. And spending on luxury vehicles goes from 0 to 100 in the blink of an eye, because he splurged almost $8 million to buy this Lamborghini and, of course, covered it.
Here's my question though. With all these cars, I bet you half of them he's never even sat in, let alone drive. Because
in gold. In fact, he owns a Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe, a Bentley Continental Flying Spur, a Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe, a Range Rover, and a Mercedes G63 6x6 truck, for a grand total of $36 million. And, of course, he's covered them all in gold, and even ornamented the chairs with gold-like embroidery. At this point, maybe his cars run on gold instead of gas, and if that doesn't fuel your desire to get rich, maybe his magnificent French chateau called the Chateau Louis XIV will. Back in 2015, when Prince Salman purchased this mansion for $300 million US, it became the world record purchase for a residential property. But MBS didn't stop there. No, instead he got to work and employed Saudi-born French property developer Imad Khashoggi to rebuild and redesign the mansion. Khashoggi merged high-tech installations and controls with 17th century craft traditions and employed them in the
that's a beautiful mansion though. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. But still the prices are just ridiculous.
7-acre chateau. Over the course of...
What do you do? Okay, if you are that rich and you buy these mansions and all these cars, are you actually going to use that? Or is it just for the sake of having your name attached to this very expensive thing? That's crazy. Will I ever become like this if I ever become rich? Like just buy things for the sake of, I don't know, reputation, or for the sake of just Is it a show? I don't know. That's insane, though.
3 years, over 131,000 people worked on this mansion. That's an average of 120 people per day. They included experts like stonemasons building the house to style, marble workers who sculpted a pristine
It's
statue
beautiful, though. That you cannot take that away
of Louis
from it.
XIV, and molded for the Grand Siècle-style fireplaces. Gardeners that designed large expanses of parks
That's
and
beautiful.
French-style
Mashallah.
gardens with embroidered box hedges and tree-lined
That is ridiculously beautiful, though.
labyrinths, and painters and decorators that painted the ceilings of several reception halls, master suites, and the cupola of the main drawing room. The chandeliers are magnificent high lights hanging in the chateau. But these otherworldly paintings and magnificent gardens are the highlights of this luxurious home. And to think the Salvatore
What does he do with these houses, homes, like palaces or whatever? What do you do with them? Like, he's not going to live in them. Is he going to rent out? Like, who would be able to afford that? Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there are some people that could afford it. But still, I always wonder, like, why, like, rich, wealthy people buy palaces and like, mansions and stuff like that. And what do they do with it? Because I know for sure they're not going to live in there, but yet they have to have people to manage the property and make sure everything is on point and stuff. But what are you going to do with it?
Mundi painting that we discussed earlier is almost double the price of this massive estate. A $500 million painting that hangs on the walls of Mohammed bin Salman's serene yacht. That's right.
I've heard about this yacht.
Serene yacht is ginormous. It is, in fact, among the top 10 largest yachts in the world, with a length of 439 feet and a beam standing at 60 feet. Serene has a jacuzzi with automatic lighting on the outer top deck, lounge areas, sitting rooms and bars on its decks, several staterooms and a master suite, a helipad, and a garage to house its many speedboats and tenders for when MBS wants to go overboard. But MBS went overboard with a different kind of tender called Monet, as this sea monstrosity is unsurprisingly
He has... Wait, is this the same? No, it's not the same. It's a different one, isn't it?
$500 million.
No, it's not.
It was
It's the
initially
same.
built for Russian vodka tycoon Yuri Shefler for $330 million.
Yes, it's
And
the
in 2014, the one and only Bill Gates leased the yacht at $5 million.
Okay, that's what they do with it. They lease out. Okay. 5 mil... I need to humble myself right now because 5 million per week. Okay, now, okay, if that's exactly what they do with the mansions and all that stuff they're buying, if they lease it out to other billionaires and stuff, then okay, that's a good investment in that case. But if it just sits there and nobody really uses it, then I'll be like, okay, what's up with that? But this, Bill Gates leased this 5 million per week.
Per 2014, the Yuri Shefler for
That is
$330 million. And in 2014, the one and only Bill Gates leased the yacht at $5 million per week. But while vacationing in the south of France in 2015, Prince Salman decided to splash $550 million on the water vessel. From the hands of one ultra-rich man to another, the Serene yacht is an example of great sportsmanship amongst the wealthy. And speaking of sportsmanship, Prince Salman's latest acquisition is a legendary English soccer establishment called Newcastle United Football Club.
Oh my God. It's crazy how right after he bought this Newcastle team, Newcastle started doing good. So weird. Now they're like fighting for the top 3 in the Premier League. That's crazy how money can transform a team. That's crazy. But yeah, I know about this piece, this part.
Club, or more commonly known as the Magpies, through the Sovereign Wealth Fund of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, known as the Public Investment Fund, or PIF. MBS was able to purchase the English Football Club for £300 million.
Yeah, this I understand because clubs are pretty expensive, especially good ones. So Newcastle 300 is okay. Like if you go for the big teams like Barcelona or PSG, which I think he owns PSG too, which I would not be surprised if they end up talking about it. I don't know if he owns it or if the trust fund owns it. I don't know. But either ways,
The deal
this is
took
interesting.
almost 2 years to complete. But at the end of the day, Newcastle is now the richest club in the world due to their owners,
I thought it would be PSG. Okay, never mind then.
the PIF, having a value in assets totaling almost $500 billion. An owner that also has numerous
That's
investments
crazy.
in big names like Disney, Uber, Facebook, Starbucks, and of course everyone's
Yes.
favorite
never
pharmaceutical
mind.
company, Pfizer. For perspective, the second richest football club owner in the entirety of the most popular and most profitable sport in our history is Manchester City Football Club, whose owner, Sheikh Mansour, has a net worth of $20 billion. Many have seen this acquisition by Mohammed bin Salman through PIF as a way to diversify their sovereign wealth fund from just oil. And like we said, PIF invests in some pretty big names already, which has brought its assets to $500 billion. Soccer is an investment that cannot be snuffed at as more and more billionaires have joined the party. For example, Russian-Israeli oil billionaire oligarch Roman Abramovich and the Italian billionaire family.
Wait, but the Russian guy, wasn't he forced to sell? When was this video made? Wasn't he forced to sell Chelsea because he owned Chelsea, and when he started lining up with himself with Putin and stuff, he was forced to resign, I think, or sell the club, and I think he did. So that's
Andrea
Yeah,
Agnelli and
anyways.
family own two of the biggest clubs.
Did you guys see that guy?
Russian-Israeli oil billionaire oligarch Roman Abramovich and the Italian billionaire family Andrea Agnelli and family own two of the biggest clubs. And more recently, the wealthy in the US of A have turned their eyes to developing and investing
Peckham.
in sport in their region too. For perspective on the lucrative nature of soccer, a top soccer club like Manchester United or Chelsea spend more on
I'm offended. How can you not mention Arsenal? Oh God. Okay, it's okay.
soccer.
okay.
A top
Relax.
soccer club like Manchester United or Chelsea spend more on players' wages in a single year than the entire civilization.
Okay, now I'm not offended because Arsenal does not spend that. Maybe they do, but not as much as Chelsea. He should also include Man City because they also spend a ton of money on players.
Nations of the world spend on asteroid defense. This is a great deal for the Magpies to elevate them to that level. But it's also great for MBS and the PIF. And perhaps the human race needs to set its priorities right on world-ending asteroids. Except for this guy, the rest of us have room for improvement. But Hotel Abraj Kudai is one hotel that doesn't have room for improvement. You know, seeing as its 10,000 rooms make it the Guinness World Record holder for the biggest hotel in the world.
Seriously?
It's another
How come I haven't heard of that?
project by the Ministry of Finance and will cost $3.5 billion to complete. It is one
That
of the
is
most
crazy.
impressive and audacious mega projects going on in the world today.
Oh, okay. They're still building it. I was like, how come I didn't hear about this? Because it's still in the works. That's crazy.
And it is also part of MBS's plan to diversify his nation's economy. With its location in the city of Mecca, this hotel is perfect for exploiting an already profitable venture, pilgrimage. Abraj Kudai will cover 1.4 million square meters across 12 great towers and its 10,000 rooms.
This-
It is fitted with 4 helipads, garage space enough for almost 3,000 cars, 70 restaurants, and more. Spending
Wow.
a night in the
Okay.
luxurious rooms will cost $5,000, and you'll get to enjoy
Wait, it costs $5,000 a night?
a night in the luxurious cars, 70 restaurants, and more. Spending a night in the luxurious rooms will cost $5,000, and you'll get to enjoy amenities like the gym and wellness
Sorry.
centers, spas, massages, luxury car rentals, fresh and thermal water baths, scrubs, saunas, pools, and more. Prince Salman also had the architects from Dar Al Hadassah and interior designers from London-based Arene Hospitality Company do something special for the royal family. And that is the fact that the first 5 floors of Hotel Abraj Kudai are set aside and designed to the taste of MBS and members of the royal family whenever they wish to visit. With the wealth at his disposal, MBS might as well build a city from scratch. Wait, he wouldn't, right?
Yes.
Boys and girls, Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud is building a city from scratch. It's called Neom, and it's the most ridiculously ambitious thing you've ever seen. First of all, Neom is a smart city under construction with a name from two words. The Greek word neo, meaning new, and the abbreviation of the Arabic word for future. Basically, it's a city so futuristic, they had to name it twice. But seriously, when MBS announced this project in October of 2017, the plan of creating the first self-sustaining, advanced, smart, and net zero carbon emission city in the world was the promise. You know, an actual place where the aliens can lodge when they eventually come.
So OneWeb, what it's about is, if you think about what we're trying to do at NEOM, NEOM is an accelerator of human progress, not just some humans, but all humans. So we want to make sure that the connectivity creates an environment that we call digital air. That means wherever you are, you don't have to worry about, is it Wi-Fi, what's the connection speed? It gives you what you need, when you need it, right person, right time, right place.
And wouldn't
That sounds incredible. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually make it happen. Seriously. I mean, the guy's loaded and the country's loaded. Well, for now, until oil becomes irrelevant. But again, they have diversified their assets and stuff, so they'll still be fine. But still, this is incredible. Insane.
you know it? It has a budget of $500 billion for its completion. This is a real thing, guys. Seriously, you can look it up. It will be 3 times the size of New York City and
3 times. That is huge.
will be designed in such a way that everything you need at any point in the city is within walking or cycling distance, since, you know.
This sounds like a place where it's for only the richest of the rich. I don't think any of us would be able to afford an apartment or a house over there.
There won't be cars or even traditional roads in Neom. Instead, long-distance transportation will be made using shared, autonomous electric shuttles, high-speed underground
What?
transit systems, and urban air mobility.
Oh, get out of here. Now they're just flexing. Are you serious? I mean, they've been flexing in all this video, but still, that's...
The seaport will be the first fully automated seaport, and the experience at Neom Airport is seamless from the curb to the gate. Sections of the gigacity like the Line and the Octagon are already under construction, so it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Earlier in this video, we posed the question: what can one buy as a gift to someone like this, with a net worth well over $2 trillion? Tell us in the comments below.
Oh, I thought he was going to answer the... Get out of here. I thought he was going to answer the question. Okay.
Responses only. But truth be told, we may never know. MBS controls 553 million acres of land, filled to the brim with crude oil. He's technically the second largest landowner in the world, ahead of the Pope and behind only the Crown and Queen of England. And it's not...
Clearly, this video was made a while ago, considering the Queen is dead. And few of the other things that they mentioned in the video is irrelevant. I mean, not irrelevant per se, but has changed, basically. It's not current situation or current... I don't know. Anyways.
Not every day you find yourself amongst 2 of the most powerful people on God's green earth. Speaking of...
That is crazy. That is crazy. Wallahi, that's crazy. Like, seriously, what would you do if you had 2 trillion... fortune? That is insane. Okay, I consider myself humbled, alhamdulillah, for the little that I have, but wallahi, I don't know if money changes you. Like, right now in my mind, I'm like, why would the heck would I spend millions on a car? Is it because I don't have it, so that's why I don't think I would spend that much? Or if I had it, would I spend that much money on a car? Or like, I don't know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, please consider subscribing. I apologize for the video being too long, but in all my reactions, my focus is to just share my reaction. I really don't try to focus how long or short the video is. In some cases, in other cases I am, but in this case I just wanted to share my view on this. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Consider subscribing. Peace out.